Welcome to another week of Eye of the Storm, a Guelph Storm podcast with myself, Ryan Drury, the voice of your Guelph Storm on Rogers TV. Everybody recognizes this guy by now. It's his overage season. He knows what's going on, and you guys know what he's all about too. And he's your captain this year, ladies and gentlemen, a man who really needs no introduction in the Royal City. We call him Good Luck Chuck. He is your captain, Charlie Paquette. Charlie, how are you, man?
Doing awesome. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you back on the show, and we'll chat about some different things, obviously, than the last time we had you on, because quite a bit has changed in your life, and we'll talk about, obviously, the new letter stitched on your jersey, but I want to talk to you first about, obviously, getting drafted into the NHL, something that I think all of us felt was long overdue. You get selected by the Dallas Stars, you get to go to development camp, training camp. Tell us about all that experience and what it was like to hear your name called by an NHL team.
Yeah, it was crazy. Being 19, I didn't expect it necessarily to happen, but I knew there was a chance. And um, my dad kind of calmly looked over at me and said, "You just got drafted by Dallas." And I kind of freaked out, didn't really know what to do with myself. But my family was around me, just good to have their support while I was going through a good moment in my life so far. And then yeah, we went to development camp. That was awesome. Kind of got to learn about the organization and see what it's like there. And then I just got back from the main camp, which that was awesome too. It was you kind of get to see what a day in the life is there. But you meet a lot of good people. You work hard and hope you be there in a couple of years. So.
Who are some guys that really stuck out to you when you were at main camp? I mean, I'm sure there were some guys on the NHL roster that were hanging around development camp too. Lots of guys like to hang around and see that. But who are some guys that you got to interact with and maybe kind of pick their brain a little bit?
It's weird how they do it there. It's well, not there. Most teams, it's kind of separate groups, and you're kind of working amongst like other guys that you're battling with and competing for certain spots with. So I kind of stuck to the guys that I was around most days and didn't get in their way for the most part. I let them do their own thing. They don't need to talk to me.
Well, I think they will be talking to you in the years to come when they see how you continue to improve. I want to talk to you about that too, because obviously you said you weren't maybe expecting you to get drafted. We all knew that, it was a well-deserved honor for you. And it's because we've been able to watch your development so closely. You and I started with the Guelph Storm full time at the same time. You're obviously doing something a little more important than I'm doing, but our first years with the team were together, and I've been able to watch you grow from a kid that was on the fourth line, kind of looked at as a bang and crash guy, 7 points in your rookie season. Then it jumped to 17, 35, 70 last year. You were better than a point per game player, 37 snipes last year. When you look at the trajectory of your OHL career and how much you've grown, what do you think's changed about you, not only personally, but as a player on the ice?
I think one of the biggest things is probably just confidence. That's you hear everyone say that once their confidence goes up, their play goes up as well. But just getting bigger, stronger, faster. All the cliches have kind of helped me along the way. Getting trusted by the coaches as the year goes on, that's another big one. But I think it's just kind of sticking to the grind. Going through a little adversity as a player has been huge for me because now when I go through a little slump, I know it can only really go up from there. So I'd say just kind of sticking to the grind and being in the gym and stuff. So
And on that note, too, when I talked to George Burnett and also your head coach, Corey Stillman, they were both very complimentary of the work that you put in, not only in the last couple off seasons, but in this one in particular. George was very adamant that you were kind of dragging other guys into the gym, not dragging, but just setting an example, you know what I mean? And I think that has led not only with your work ethic and your results on the ice, but the way that you conduct yourself off the ice in you getting that C stitched on to your jersey here in the Royal City. Charlie, when you think about where you started in this league and the role you kind of carved out for yourself, really through hard work, to have a C stitched on your chest for this organization, what does that mean to you?
yeah, it means a lot. It means that I have trust with not only my teammates, my coaches. People can look up to me. They can I could take the fall for guys if it's a team thing. Um, it's a really special thing. It's something you kind of dream of when you're first coming into the league. It's a cool thing to be a captain, but I'm not really going to change anything about myself. It's just be the same way, and hopefully some of the boys will follow.
Well, I certainly think they do. I mean, like I said, your general manager and coach certainly think so, and I don't think you need to change anything about yourself. I mean, you've gotten this far based on what you've done, and I think that that's a big reason why they felt confident naming you captain. And when you look back on the captains that you've served under in your time with the Guelph Storm, you've had some pretty good guys in terms of leaders, different types of leaders as well. But when you look back and you think about the Jet Luchenkos and of course the Braden Bowmans, Cooper Walker, like you go down the line, you had some good guys to kind of learn from and set an example for you when you were the young guy.
Yeah, I know for sure. It's 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 funny how it all kind of works out. You get different guys like Cooper, Bones, and Jet, like you said, they all have different styles, and you being after the three of them, you can kind of blend everything together and see what works best for myself and what the guys on the team respond to the best. So I think it's good that I've had three really good guys in front of me and they've kind of led the way and now I can just use what they've shown me and what I've learned from them to help our team this year. So
Speaking of the team this year, interesting mix, a lot of really exciting new faces, a lot of exciting returning faces as well, particularly on the back end. When you look at this forward core, I mean, you guys have a collection of really exciting young talent. I mean, I'm sure that you look back on your first days in the OHL and you maybe kind of see a similarity with some of these kids that are coming in. What do you make of the makeup of your team this year and how far can this team go? You know, there's a lot of talent here. What do you think of the group that you're in charge of?
I think it's awesome. I don't want to give the boys too much credit here because they'll take it and run with that in the room. But
Yeah.
no, I think everyone's goal is to win right now. I think everyone knows we can. We've shown glimpses of it, and once everything tightens up, I think our team will be a force to be reckoned with. So everyone's goal is to win this year. I don't think anyone's looking back, and we're just going to keep pushing every day to just get a little bit better and start going on a little bit of a heater as a team here. So
I think that the team could do well to kind of take on the persona that their current captain has. I mean, like we've said, you're a guy that has worked so hard, improved every single year that he's been in the league, got himself drafted. And I think coming off a year where things didn't go the way you guys wanted, we know that. And, you know, it's never fun to miss the playoffs. I think, though, that you're the right type of guy to tab to lead this group because you've always struck me as a guy that maybe didn't outwardly say he was playing with a chip on his shoulder, but you certainly played like a guy that had a chip on his shoulder and always could do more. Do you
yeah,
kind of get the sense that this team is taking on that personality as well?
yeah, 100%. We have something to prove, right? We have a very similar team, the similar team as last year. And people are probably not expecting much from us, but we have something to prove that that's not true. And we went through a little adversity last year with having a tough time winning games, not making the playoffs, as you said. But yeah, this year I think it's just proven to people that 1 year can make a big difference, and I think everyone's ready to show everyone else in the league that. So
I think people too, Charlie, they can get an impression that when a team misses a playoffs, doesn't matter what level, whether it's the NHL, the AHL, certainly junior. I think that people that don't necessarily pay attention, and certainly guys that aren't around your group as much as we are, they can get an impression like, okay, the team missed the playoffs. There must be something wrong. The group there's maybe a bad dynamic with the group. That's not true of you guys, though. I mean, I walked by you guys all the time last year. You guys had challenges. There were a lot of injuries too, but you guys were always staying positive. You guys always struck me as a really tight, fun group to be around. And it feels the same, if not more so, this year as guys have gotten more comfortable in the team. Tell us a bit about the room that you're in and what makes it special.
yeah, I think a big thing is just there's no there's no little cliques. It's not like older guys, middle guys, younger guys. It's a culture that's probably been built for a lot longer than I've been here. But for sure, I remember my rookie year, it was similar. Like the younger guys hung out with the older guys. It was never there's not separate group chats. It's all one. Like I think that's a big thing that our team has, and we consider everyone a brother. Everyone's best friend, if that makes sense. So we're willing to do whatever it takes for each other out there, and we just try and have some fun, keep it light around the room, and not get too down on ourselves. So I think it's huge that we're this close as a team, and it can only really help us on the ice and stuff. So
On that note, the way that you guys play and certainly your identity as a player, I mean, you've had an incredible improvement and last year an explosion of offense, I would call it. I mean, the 37 goals, a lot of them very hardworking. When you consider that and the way that you've always tried to play, bring intensity to the ice, is that the kind of leader you want to be, the guy that's going out there and dragging everybody into the fight with physical play first and adding that offensive element of your game kind of on top of that?
yeah, I think so. It's something that's it's always there, and I think if they see one of the leaders on our team, whether that's me, Rowan, Quinn, or even Steve-O, like everyone can be a leader in their own way. Like if they see one guy doing it, especially me, like they're just gonna follow my footsteps a little bit. So I think that's a big part of what I want to do this year is drag the team into the fight, and then maybe add a little touch on top, but I'm not too worried about that.
I know you're not, and I mean it's coming naturally to you the way that you've been able to provide offense. I'm glad you brought up Steve-O, Carter Stevens. We've kind of joked around, Mark and our crew amongst ourselves that he's kind of your mini me. Like he reminds us a lot of you when you started, a kid who uses his physicality, works super hard. I mean, he'd probably jokingly like to tease that he's already taller than you, but
I
so
don't know
mini
about
me,
that.
mini me, yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Mini me might not be an appropriate term necessarily, but he just reminds us a lot of you. When you look at that kid and you kind of relate back to what you were like as a young player going into your second year, what do you kind of see in Steve-O?
It's funny. I always tell him I think he's going to be just like me. Even his personalities, he's it's like looking into a mirror when he's talking and joking around. I love that kid. He's the best. So um, I don't really have any words for that. He reminds he reminds the way he plays, the way he acts, the way he laughs, everything. He reminds me of me, but hopefully he can be a little better than me in the future. He's on the right track.
Well, hey, that's a tall task, man. 37 goals, that's no joke. But I agree. I think that he's a kid that can grow into that. And I certainly think that, well, I feel a little better. Maybe we weren't so far off the mark then. And I certainly think that he has the makings of potential future captain material too, with the way that he plays the game as well. When you look at a kid like Yako Wysick, a kid that comes in as a second overall pick, already got a big frame, he's got some meat behind him, plays a physical game, he's not shying away from anybody in his early OHL career so far. When you see a kid like that with that type of draft pedigree come in and work as hard as he's working, that's got to give you and the older guys on the team a lot of encouragement, seeing a young kid come in and be willing to work like that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Seeing a young guy come in, like you said, working like that, it kind of makes the older guys push a little bit more because he's coming for our spots, just like we're trying to keep him, and vice versa. So I think it's huge for him to see the older guys and just guys ahead of him right now working too, because he knows that's where he wants to be. And him seeing us do that, he knows he has to stay in the gym. He has to keep working, and all the things that we do, he knows he has to keep on improving.
In terms of continuation, you come back from your first NHL camp experience, development and main camp, and you come back and you have that continuation of your coaching staff from last year. I think just like there can be misconceptions about a team that misses the playoffs, there can be misconceptions about the coaching staff too. And the Guelph Storm said, no, we believe in not only our players group, we believe in this coaching staff as well. second year under Corey Stillman and his assistants in Simmer, Scott Simmons. That guy's such a legend. And of course, Rob Davidson, who himself has quite an interesting life and an NHL career to look back on. How important is that for you guys in this group as you guys look to make some serious noise this year under this coaching staff? How important is that?
I think it's big. Everyone in that room has a sense of familiarity with not only just the coaches as people, but their systems and how they do things, how the week is scheduled, how practices work and stuff. So no, I think it's huge. Everyone trusts him. It's hard not to trust a guy that's coaching the NHL, played in the NHL, two of them, and Scott. He's one of the hardest workers. He's always doing extra work and doing video with the boys and taking time out of his day to um, do some extra things with the boys. So I think it's huge that everyone's pretty familiar with them as people and coaches. That we kind of already had a little bit of a jump start going into this year with not having to review everything so much and not having to learn a new system for the first month of the season. So I think that's a really big part of us being able to have a little bit of a better start, especially coming up soon. So
On that note, too, I want to key in on something. It's early days. Like, we're early days. We're recording this before a big weekend set for you guys with Saginaw and London coming into town. You're currently 2-2. You open with a really impressive home victory. You weren't here for that. And then last Friday, the team has a rough night against the Oshawa Generals. And the very next night, there were a lot of times last season, and yes, there were a lot of different factors, injuries, that sort of thing. There were a lot of times last season, though, where a tough outing happened and it kind of snowballed into a couple in a row before you guys were able to kick it. You guys have a tough night on Friday, and you guys go into Saginaw and absolutely floor it against a pretty good Spirit team. When you left the rink that night, were you kind of thinking, yeah, that's what the Storm is about this year?
yeah, I think it was a little bit of a statement from our team. We knew we couldn't drop two games that weekend. We knew we had to split, so we had something on the line before the room or before the game in the room. We put something on the line, and we knew it wasn't acceptable to be losing both games in a weekend. So we got fired up for that game, and I think it just shows like this team's been through so much adversity that when one little thing happens like that, like we're able to bounce back like crazy. So I think it's something we can expect all the time. Like hopefully we're winning a lot more, but if one bad thing happens, whether it's a period, a shift, whatever it is, like everyone's gonna bounce back just way better.
And the third period in particular, I mean, you guys jump out to a lead, they close it to 3-2, and in the third, you guys just went hammer down. I would call it a character win. I'd call it a ballsy win, dare I say. I thought it was a ballsy victory by you guys to turn around, not only do that after a tough outing, but do it on the road too in a tough building. I thought that was a big time statement for you guys. As you look ahead here, and again, it's early in the season, but we're in your overage. It feels crazy to me to say that, Charlie. Like, I mean, again, like I remember your first year, obviously, and it's crazy. Here we are. We're in your overage season. I don't want to look too far ahead because I want you to enjoy this because you should. But as you look back and reflect on being a 16-year-old and coming into this league and being a part of this team your whole career, what's been special about your journey as a Guelph Storm from then to here?
There's so much. I don't really have words to describe it. Every up and down, every second I've been in Guelph has just been um, super special. My billets have made it. They're not here, so I can't embarrass them. But my billets have made it awesome. They're legitimately my second family. Especially my teammates. Like that's probably the biggest thing. It's really all we have when everyone's moved away for the first time, and they're your brothers, and that's a big thing that's helped. It's the city. I just love the city, and then the fans like they come out support us every night. Like we're selling out. We're worst team in the league last year. We're still selling games out. So um, Guelph definitely has a very special place in my heart. I've told my parents I want to live here someday. Like it's I'm excited to end the year on a good note here. So
Absolutely. Well, I could tell you that, just talking to the fans as much as we do on the crew, you have a special place in their heart too. I mean, I see a lot of people with Paquette jerseys, Paquette jerseys walking around. You've definitely endeared yourself to the Royal City. Um, I don't want to, I want to ask you too, just about because you're a career OHL guy. You've had an amazing experience with the Guelph Storm. And I don't want to kind of like put you on the spot, make you record like a commercial or something here. But there's been a lot of people panicking about the NCAA rules and people even for yourself. Sell us on what's been special about being a junior hockey player in the Ontario Hockey League. What makes being a part of this league so special?
Well, I don't even know where to start. There's too many. There's one is the sheer number of NHL draft picks. It's the most in the world, I think, ever. I don't know. But it's just the there's an NHL schedule. You're learning what it's like to, live on your own, kind of. You have to grow up. You become a man very fast once you get to this league, and there's honestly nothing like it. You meet your best friends along the way. Like, uh, honestly, you shouldn't have to sell it too much once you hear just what I said. Like, I don't know why. It's a no-brainer. It's the best place to be in your life is 16 to 20 as a junior hockey player and playing in a great city. All the cities are awesome. So I don't know. I don't really know what to say, but it's the best time of your life. Everyone says it. It goes by fast, and boy, does it ever. But I wish I could be in junior hockey the rest of my life. So
I think that's about as good as an endorsement as
yeah.
you're going to get right there. Really appreciate it. I'll end by saying this. If you could kind of send a message to Storm Nation on what to expect this year from this exciting young group, what would you like to say as the captain?
I got to think about this one here.
That's
Um,
all right. That's good.
yeah, just be ready to see some Storm hockey. Lots of wins coming our way this year, and it'll be exciting. Hopefully, we make a deep playoff run, and I think that's everyone's goal. So get on board, I guess.
Get on board. Hey, well,
Yeah.
like you said, the fan base here is so special. They're definitely on board and they can't wait to see what you guys have in store. I want to say again, just, I don't want to sound too, mushy here or anything, but, I do have a bit of a special connection with you. Obviously, seeing you come in as a rookie, as, I started my journey in the booth here and very proud of the player you've turned into, Chuck, the young man you've turned into. We're really excited to see your overage season. Couldn't have been more happy for you when you got drafted. We were so excited. You should be very proud of what you've achieved so far, and we can't wait to see what you and the team achieve this year, my friend. Thanks so much for doing this, eh?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, everybody, remember, come down to the Sleeman Center and watch Good Luck Chuck, Mr. Charlie Paquette, your captain in the Guelph Storm this year. To get tickets, you can go on the team website and the box office at the Sleeman Center. You can find this podcast and all your favorite podcast apps, YouTube, the team website, the whole deal. Thank you very much to Mr. Charlie Paquette. We will be back next week with more Eye of the Storm.